What's up, everyone, and welcome to ClearTalk. So in this video, we're going to do something that I've never done before, and that is react and respond to comments. I know that's weird. I don't particularly normally like concentrate on comments or anything, because I quite frankly, for me, it doesn't matter if it's a good comment or a bad comment. I interact with both. It's dependent upon the comment, but I don't normally worry that much about it because just as much as good uh, commentary or good response can accelerate your post or whatever, so can negative. Okay, so it's like, sometimes negative PR is just as good as positive PR, because the algorithm doesn't really care either way. If you or at least I feel like it doesn't. It usually just pushes it. The more just interaction pushes any kind of post or video or whatever the case. So I don't normally engage that much with it or concern myself that much with it. But in this particular instance here, it's just got the most, I guess, response or outrage that I have had so far. And so I just wanted to kind of talk about it for a little bit. So thank you very much for joining me. If you are new to the channel, welcome. If you'd like to check out more from the channel, please do so. Consider subscribing, like, share, comment, all that good stuff to get more videos in front of more people. If you'd like to check out videos from my other channels, you have JMD Drummer there, JMDPLAY, Puzzling. If you like what you see there, consider subscribing to those as well. All of that is free and helps out the channels tremendously, okay? If you'd like to go further, there's Patreon there, $2 to support any of the channels that you would like to help grow those channels. It helped grow JMD Nation and Patreon and help contribute to that growth however you would like to. There's also merch link there. I have merch for every single channel as well, so if you like something, get it, okay? And if you're a Patreon member, you get a discount on that merch, so even more reason to be a Patreon member. But either way, all right, any support you decide to give is very much appreciated, and I thank you very much. And if you're returning, you're freaking amazing. Welcome back, and keep coming back, because you're what makes JMD Nation. Okay, so what we're talking about, we're not even talking about comments on a video, all right? I know. I mean, although I have had videos that go, the crazy thing, I've had videos that go, uh, will have good responses, and then I've had videos that have bad responses. And usually the weird thing about it, and I guess it's because of the algorithm of, say, YouTube, I guess, whatever the attention that it's getting, it kind of continues to push it in that algorithm. So if it's getting negative attention, it keeps to push it to more people that, I guess, give it negative attention. I don't know. And then same in the positive, it's getting more positive attention, it pushes it in that way. Why it doesn't kind of do an equal down the middle thing, whatever. I guess it's, whatever gets more interaction either way. But no, we're not even talking about a video comments. We're actually talking about something that I commented to on X, okay, and the response that comment has received, and I find it interesting. So what we're going to do here is we flop over. All right, so this is the original post. Okay, it's from a Mel. It says Mel Gibson. I'm pretty sure this is probably not Mel Gibson. It's probably a fake account, a bot account, troll account. I don't know. Whatever. It doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter what the account is. But it just randomly popped up in my feed, and I see, and every now and then I look at this and I just see, what the hell? I'm going to respond just for fun. Whatever. It doesn't matter. But there has been this trend of throwing up, a picture or a situation or whatever, and then polling it, right? It's like a new fad a lot of accounts are doing, or whatever the case. I don't know. This says, simple poll. Be honest. As of today, how much do you still trust this man? All right. And it gives you these, options: 100, 75, 50, 25, 10, 0. All right. And I'm like, oh, that's easy. And I make up my own. And of course, it shows Donald Trump. And this is the response that I put on it, okay? I said a negative 100%, all right? I said I never trusted him and never will. He's a criminal, nepo baby, billionaire, pedo. And then I said 86-47. All right. I know. I'm pushing buttons here. I'm pushing buttons. I am clearly a thorn in the side of all of these MAGA extreme Trump supporting fanatics. Okay. But, and whatever. But I thought, I'm going to throw it down here. I didn't even honestly. I didn't even look at the other comments when I did this. I just threw this comment in here. Didn't care. And it has quite frankly kind of, I mean, at least for me, blown up a little bit. So as you see here, there's 102 comments. Okay, 102 comments. But I also want to point out, okay, and most of these comments are negative. Okay, I'm talking like 95% of these comments are negative. And you know, in like in some pretty extreme ways, as I will show. But what I also immediately want to point out is the likes. Even though there's 102 comments that are, again, majority opposition, don't like, completely bashing me and all kinds of stuff, there are 317 likes, hearts, okay? Over 3 times the amount of hatred that I'm getting, I'm also getting love. And and this is in 20,000 views, okay? So this has been viewed a lot. All right. There's been 5 reposts, and 5 that's bookmarked it. Okay, whatever. And so, all right, I want to break down first what I said. Okay. Again, I completely did the reverse, negative 100%. I said I never trusted him and never will, and that's pretty clear. If you have seen any of my content, you will see that I've never liked the guy. I mean, even before I really knew half-ass what he was, I never liked him. But even, as I've seen him over, the different TV stuff and things that he did before, and I always got a bad vibe from Donald Trump. I never cared for him. And even in his run in 2016, all the way through, his first administration, the claims that he made about the 2020 election, his, campaigning through the 24, and now everything. I mean, I've never liked him and never will like him. He is a criminal. Let's put that in brackets. He's a criminal. I mean, he quite literally has been convicted. He's a convicted felon. I don't care whether or not you agree with it, or you like it, or don't like it, or think it's fake, or whatever the case. He is a convicted criminal. All right, of 34 counts. He was indicted on like 90 counts or whatever, but he's been convicted on 34. I think that's the number. So out the gate, okay, I'm not lying here. He is technically a criminal, nepo baby billionaire. That again, it's just facts. He got his billions from his family, from his parents, from his father. His father was a billionaire, whatever. Gave him money. Trump blew through that money. He has, used the Trump name to enrich himself over and over again. He's bankrupted himself several times. He's not really even good at being a billionaire, but nevertheless, and matter of fact, he's so bad at being a billionaire, he'd have become president and take advantage of policies and laws and skirting it to his advantage to actually become the billionaire he is right now. And enriching himself and his family and trying to make sure, because of all of his failures throughout his life, he had to use the presidency to try to garnish some sort of legacy for his family and try to make it to where his family was enriched enough and locked into enough criminality and connery and fraud that they will be set for life. You can not like that. You can whatever, but he is a nepo baby billionaire. And then I said pedo, right? And this, of course, is, while not, I guess you could argue, is not been officially confirmed. Okay, fine. But there's a lot of evidence from what has been released in the Epstein files so far, what has been leaked from the files, videos, pictures. His name is in the files that has been released, which is only about probably 50% of what they have. It's been he is the most named in the entire files. Millions of times his name is in the files. He is considered possibly the number one conspirator in the Epstein files. We're talking a man that had a Teen USA pageant where he has openly talked about how he would walk into the dressing rooms while they were naked, nude, or whatever, to view them and, introduce himself or whatever. And he acted like it was no problem. He didn't care. The parents didn't care. Everybody was okay with it, or to the degree that the parents did care, they wouldn't say anything because he was the head. They were servitude to him because he owned it. Just that alone is creepy as fuck. And to act like, you have no consciousness feeling for privacy for teenagers. You think just because you own it, you should have the, authority to just walk in on them at any point in time and it be okay. And he's openly discussed and talked about this with no shame whatsoever. Not to mention all the other stuff that he's talked about and admitted to over the years about different acts, all his love affairs and everything else, or whatever. He is. But we know that he has been to Epstein Island. He was been on his plane. Him and Ivanka. His wife, whatever. We know that they, the first time they had sex was on the fucking Lido Express. And there have been lots of photos and videos. We know that there was a party at Mar-a-Lago that was literally of 14-year-olds, 15-year-olds that were there back in, and this is with the whole USA pageantry stuff and things like that, where literally it was practically just him and Epstein at this party. We know these things. So while, yes, he hasn't been criminalized, he hasn't been taken upon a jury to be, processed and a full investigation done, and he hasn't faced a jury and been, found guilty of any pedophilia crimes. I'm sorry, but I feel pretty confident in saying that he's a pedo. Yes, that one is my personal opinion, but it's the personal opinion and thoughts and of a lot of people, even a lot of his supporters, because even a lot of his supporters are upset about the Epstein files. So, and 8647, this one seems like to be the most, even maybe one of the more upset things that I stated in here, because a lot of them are accusing me of saying that I wanted to assassinate him, which is absolutely ridiculous. That's not what 8647 stands for. Yes, the Republican Party, the Trump administration rather, and MAGA and far right people have tried to make that what it means, but that's not what it means. When people say 8647, that's not what it means, because 86 does not originally mean to kill somebody. 86 means to just remove them from power, remove them from status, remove them from office, remove them from whatever position or authority they think they have, or whatever, just to be removed from. That's what it means, and that's what the avocations of this is just to remove. Now Trump, because of him having a mobster criminal mind, he immediately was like, "Oh, 86, gangsters, they say that's you got to kill them when you say 86, you kill them." That's not what 86 means. And his followers just took that and they claim everything. If you've looked at any of my content on my channel, you will clearly know that I am anti-violence. And in all the assassination attempts, or even like when you talk about Charlie Kirk, or we talk about anybody else that's killed, the violence on the street, ICE, whether it's ICE doing the violence or any kind of violence towards ICE, I have condemned it. Now, even though the assassinations on Trump himself, there's been allegations or there are conspiracy and thoughts and questions around every single assassination attempt and whether or not they were actually true, legitimate attempts at his life or whether or not they were completely staged. And those arguments do have some very good credibility to them. And we have discussed some of that. But nevertheless, when it comes to violence, I have over and over again stated that I do not agree with violence. No matter what the case, political, whatever, I am anti-violent. I'm anti-war. So, no, clearly when I state 86-47, I am doing that in unison of remove Trump from office. Simple as that. But here's some of the stuff here. And these some of these are brand new that I haven't seen, but some of them are ones that I've already seen. And we're not going to go through all of them, but just for you to get the idea. You're a terrible judge of character. His actions prove he loves this country. Really? Really? B, he didn't even give an A, but he gave a B. If you don't see it, it's because you have been listening to the Commie News Network and have been brainwashed. What CNN? I guess that's what it is. CNN, Commie News Network. Okay. Newsflash: CNN's been bought by Trump. Okay, it wasn't literally bought by Trump, but it was bought by a billionaire that is completely in favor of Trump and backs Trump. And he swore to Trump that he was going to change CNN to benefit him more. So if your argument is that I'm listening to CNN and getting all my information from CNN, then that doesn't work in your favor at this point because I have a whole lot of critiques of CNN right now. CNN doesn't even agree with me. So I don't know what you're talking about there. I don't ever worry about these posts. Anytime somebody posts up stupid shit like this, for me, it's just and again, some of these comments from these accounts could be complete false space bot accounts. It could be troll accounts. It could be even repeats of the same people. You know, some people have multiple accounts and they just use all the accounts to go and blast and you know, whatever, put up bullshit on anybody's posts or comments or whatever. I don't know. To the degree that how many of these comments are actually legitimate, individual, unique people, I have no clue. But nevertheless, because I mean, look at Truth. Again, this guy, he posted twice, and look what he just posts up memes, just post up like stupid. It's whatever. But look at Live Social though. I mean, whenever Trump posts something, you have like picture after picture after picture after picture, and a lot of it's the same accounts, the same 4 or 5 accounts that just sit there and just like spam, just bullshit memes and comments, pictures and stuff on it a lot of which have absolutely nothing to do with the post is even about. But whatever, that's my point. A lot of the quote unquote support, I guess you could say, or the appearance of support on like something like True Social, when it comes to even directly to Trump, it's just fake. It's just fake. Oh, look, another one who should be in an insane asylum. Be in an insane asylum. Mentally ill for sure. Mentally ill. I'm mentally ill because I'm stating what is clearly and arguably the truth. Nobody gives a shit about you, TDS douchebag. Nobody gives a shit about me. I would say 317 at least to your 100 and something, 102 that, you know, claim you don't. That's why you have been mostly butthurt since 2016, because of your own personal choice. Okay? You're an anti-American pile of shit. Anti-American. Okay. I mean, I am constantly promoting stuff that benefits and would benefit Americans. I promote stuff that to actually, commit to assisting and helping Americans. Uh, all of the policies of the progressive platform does just that. We have had video over that about that. So to argue what is anti-American? Me stating these things about Donald Trump makes me anti-American? I mean, I could argue. Okay, if you wanted to say I'm anti-Trump, fine. Okay, no proof of any of that, dummy. Ooh, you hurt me there. Thank you for being 1,000% honest. This one I don't know exactly how to take. It is an account that says "Make America MAGA-less," so I'm fine. I feel like this is supposed to meant to be positive, but at the same time, it could be sarcastic. Like, thank you for being 1,000% honest while we, blacklist you. I don't know, but whatever. Just like JB Prisker, dipshit. Okay. Oh, here they are. They're trying to also get me red flagged. They put at FBI, this guy is calling for the assassination of our president. No, I'm not. But okay, sure, get the FBI after me. I'm sure the FBI is concerned about a YouTuber out here in the middle of nowhere in rural Mississippi. I'm sure they're concerned. I'm sure they're really concerned about my when I have constantly called for nonviolence and condemned political violence over and over and over again. I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure they're concerned about me. Why say you trust him 100% then? Denise, there's a negative in front of that. Go back and check it. Okay. Typical piece of shit, beta cuck. Ooh, I'm a beta cuck. Been debunked there, cupcake. Troubled women from history of drug use who claim this from Daily Mail. Daily Mail? Really? You're taking this from Daily Mail? Y'all claim that CNN is a problem, but y'all are taking shit from Daily Mail. Okay. Troubled woman with a history of drug use who claimed that she was assaulted by Donald Trump at a Epstein sex party at the age of 13 made it all up. Okay. Sure. All right. Even if this was so, what about the countless others? You're saying that every single one of them. I'm not even claiming that this is true, but I mean, like, about the countless others that have made claims. And the claim that he literally has been found guilty of. You poor brainwashed fool. Okay. Tapping your own obituary for the world to see. Taping your own obituary for the world to see. So he's claiming because I'm, doing these videos and talking about this stuff that apparently this is going to lead to my death. By what means? Are you threatening me? Agree with you. Hey, there was a positive one. Agree with you. You're just jealous he's a billionaire. I'm jealous he's a billionaire? I've quite literally argued that billionaires should not exist. How could that make me jealous that he's a billionaire? See, that's what I'm talking about. These are people that people just get on here and they just spew stuff and don't even know anything about me. They don't know about about anybody else. And they just say stuff out of sheer ignorance, which is literally the way I feel that their entire defense of someone like Donald Trump is just complete and utter ignorance. 100%. So another positive. So, hey, we've knocked down to 100 people that are against me, maybe. Me too. So there's a third. See, we're on a roll here. So are you. So I'm a criminal, nepo baby, billionaire, pedo. I have a lot to say that I am not any of those things. I'm not a criminal. I've never been accused of a crime. I've never even been to jail. I've never been arrested. I have a completely clean Criminal record. I've never so much just done drugs. I'm sorry. I've smoked like maybe 4 cigarettes in my life to the most, and that was just different periods of me trying it and just never liking it. And the best I've ever done is drink some alcohol, and I've never even been drunk in my life. Like, quite literally, I have never been drunk in my life. So, okay. I'm certainly not a billionaire. I, uh, mm, I'm not even a millionaire. I'm not even a 100,000-aire. So whatever. That's hilarious. Absolutely pathetic. Okay. Congratulations. There's no proof of that. Never has been and never will be. Wow, I guess that makes every Democrat a negative 100,000. Okay. But you're a much better person calling for the death of someone. I quite literally did not. But Trump has. Multiple times. TDS, horrific mental illness. I feel pity for you. What a loser. Probably a threat to the country with that 8647 bullshit. And you still wake up every day hoping to hear more lies. I bet you still believe COVID-19 came from bats. Because that's what somebody told you. Snort, snort. Sorry, me laughing. There is good evidence that it did actually come from bats. Now, I mean, it still came from a research facility in China. Yes. I mean, I don't know. Nevertheless, COVID-19 did exist. It did happen. It got out because of poor management from multiple countries, China included. Although, China did go to some extremes, I would say that they probably did a better job of controlling it, especially since it was the, what is it called? Contact zero, or whatever. Whatever the fuck, when you're the epicenter of it. Then the United States did, but whatever. I'm not worried about them. Why don't you try to get your own opinion instead of just putting out the bullshit that you put in the news every day that you watch? I do draw my own opinion. This is my own opinion. Yes, I do look and look at multiple outlets. I watch some mainstream outlet stuff and criticize it. I watch some independent stuff. I have my own personal commentary, say YouTube commentary, independent commentary, people that I do listen to, but I also critique as well. I also even have watched some Fox News stuff that I highly, of course, criticize, but nevertheless, I get information and opinions from all kinds of different places. And from all of that and from my own research into a lot of different things, articles and all the stuff, information, I draw my own conclusion. Just because I draw a conclusion that's different from your conclusion and your opinion does not make it bullshit, just like anybody else's. And it also doesn't make it not true, just like anybody else's. Until actual evidence appears and shows that it's not true, which you can, I'm pretty sure, not present with anything that I've said, but I could probably do for you. Worst president ever. Hey, another positive. So look, see, there is some positive there. Again, there might be a handful. You are clearly an idiot. You are anti-American. He repeated that twice. You are anti-American and clearly a communist. Okay. No, I'm not a communist. Not in the least bit. Social democrat, democratic socialism. There is a slight bit of difference between those two. They're very pretty much close in the same area, although there is a slight bit of difference. But no, not communism. That's way far. It's a whole different sector but again, this is all economic systems. Okay. It's like you're just arguing, okay, you don't like capitalism. Well, there's a good argument to not like capitalism. Capitalism has a lot of problems, and it has created the conditions that we currently live under. Crony capitalism specifically, just like the bad things that have been said about communism. They, when there's crony and corrupt communism as well. It's not really necessarily the actual monetary system that is inherently a problem. It's how those systems have been manipulated and controlled by the wrong people being in power and the wrong people having the influence, which ultimately in every single one of these systems has been the elite, rich, wealthy people that have been allowed to have full control and power in those particular systems, regardless of whether it's capitalism, communism, socialism, or whatever. That has been the problem. Now, there are arguments, positive and negative, in the actual economic question and discussion and how those systems run, and depending upon whether you're more pro privacy, public, or private property, public property, or what's ownership and what that means for any individual person or whatever. Like, there's different arguments, and we can hash out and have a discussion of the positives and or negatives over any direction. That fine. But that does not, just because you have been told that communism is a horrible thing and you're completely, negative towards any kind of thought or idea that you think is perceived from communist mind of thought, does not make it automatically inherently communist. And I'm talking about like democratic socialism or social democrats. Both of those systems work within the frame of capitalism. It's just basically blending and saying, okay, let's take all the positive and good things about capitalism without all the croniness and the corruption and power and control and like authoritarian nature and all of that of capitalism. And then let's take the positives of socialism without the full-fledged like government equality control of everybody and trying to put everybody on like a flat, everybody's exact same and everybody is equal, and there not be any kind of idea, which capitalism is, of course, making yourself giving yourself more ability to be successful and stuff like that. Like, just put everybody on the same whatever. Taking the best parts of socialism, which is just to hold up and create systems and assistance when needed in places and for people who need help, who are in a bad situation or whatever the case, and keep them afloat, and then until they can actually be on their own again for whatever reason, whatever the case. Take the best parts of socialism, take the best parts of capitalism, and let's marry them together. That's basically all democratic socialism is. It's not nefarious. It's working within the capitalist framework, but also bringing social sympathies and compassion when somebody's at their low or whatever situation happens, keeping everybody afloat, giving everybody the opportunity to stay on a positive trajectory, or at least give them the ability to keep themselves going when something happens that would otherwise put them in a very hard position, especially in a country that is the richest country in the entirety of the fucking world. It's not complicated. JMD, Secret Service is on their way to visit you. You've been turned in to them. Jail time for you is coming. Okay. Fuck. I hate people like you. You fucking piece of shit. Why don't you go do all of us a favor and 86 yourself? So this guy is promoting suicide. Got you. Guess that makes you a better guy. Gets you a better person. And you are an un-American communist piece of shit. Self-deport yourself before ICE finds you. I don't know if you notice. I mean, to your argument, I should have no reason to come get me, but that still isn't going to keep me from talking shit about them. If they want to come find me because I'm, calling them for what they are, racist Gestapo thugs, then sure, okay. But they have a hard time keeping, that, making that really stick for anything. Anyway, this is my point, though. All of these people, or whatever. Maybe it's just straight, probably just fake bots and stuff like that. Either way, but this goes to the larger thing here is that even when you just look at the numbers, and I clearly showed you the 102 comments, right? 102 comments here. I showed you at least 4 or 5 that were actually positive. So that drops that number. But then I have 317 actual likes, hearts. And I feel like that shows that is almost reflective of this country. The fact that when we're talking about, and what I stated out, and what, some could argue is controversial for what I even said, right? Or at least some feel like it's controversial. Stating the simplicity of what I said. And I have 3 times as much actual sympathy and like for what I said. That were willing to actually come forward and state that, they by clicking that heart. Those versus those who decided to click the comment button and make a comment. That is a 1/3 to 2/3 majority. Arguably a little bit less than that. Probably like 30%, which is what I've argued is pretty much the support for Trump. Around 30% at best. And the rest of the country, the majority of the country, 66 to 70% of the country does not agree, is not on his side, does not like what's going on. Some of that percentage is bold enough to quite literally push back on it, like myself. And then some of it just sort of sit back in the middle, not liking it, giving that invisible support where they can, that hidden support where they can, for those that are bold enough. But nevertheless, it shows that and those type of people still have the opportunity to show up at the ballot box. Again, and that's the reason why this administration is so concerned about these elections coming up, is because they are seeing the tea leaves. They're reading the tea leaves. And they're seeing the polls. And they're seeing the negative outcry. The administration that had pretty much the most protests ever happening against them. The most negative media against them and what they're doing. Not only domestically, but internationally. Regardless, I feel that this is representative of the nation, representative, and gives me confidence in the midterms. Gives me confidence even in what might wind up happening in 28. At least from the idea of voter, one person, one vote, voter, you know, a mentality, voter opinion. Because of the American opinion of the majority, a super majority of Americans that do not agree with what this administration is doing. And it gives me a positive feeling that these, 30 something percent of people are just the outliers of the totality of this country. They are the ignorant, uneducated, or willfully criminal fraud themselves. But they are still a minority. And while they do feel emboldened at the moment to have like some sort of feeling of strength at the moment of even probably a degree of impunity because they have somebody like Donald Trump in office for them. Kind of the mentality like the Tate brothers thought they had. And, to some degree, they're probably still going to be protected, even if it's not being publicly boasted at the moment. But nevertheless, they feel emboldened to do whatever they want, to say whatever they want, to hate whoever they want, to try to criminalize whoever they want. Place a mark on whoever they want because they consider you a opposition. They consider you a threat to policy and actions and a livelihood that they want to force on everybody else. A reality that they want to enforce on everybody else, which is their reality of white makes right supremacy, of elite rule, of criminal sanctuary, misogynistic control, trying to downplay and suppress women in the country, black and brown people in the country, literally taking this back to what they consider was a great America. The olden days, the Gilded Age. But it shows that even if you're doing what I'm doing, trying to do anyways, and you're getting negative feedback like those comments, don't focus on that. Because they're morons in the first place. To the degree that they're real at all, they're morons. Look at what love you do get. Like those 300 something hearts. To me, that even though it's not being literally, they're not getting in there and commenting, oh, that's amazing, I agree. I think, they may not want to have that sort of deep-rooted association, that like direct association with what I said, because they're scared, the fear of what, might come back on them. But nevertheless, the heart is enough. The heart is enough to show that what we're talking about and what we're doing, what I'm saying, um, does have sentiment. So, um, and I take that uh, as a positive, and that's the kind of stuff that keeps me going. I welcome the hatred. I welcome the ignorant dislike, because you really, honestly, you're showing who you are. You're showing your true colors. Your support for this administration is showing who you are, showing your colors, showing everybody what you're about. You might as well, it's showing like the was it Ingval? I can't remember his name. Where he was like, here's your sign. You're putting the sign on your fucking forehead and showing who you are. So, and I welcome that. And at the same time, again, proving that you are still a minority. You are a very small portion of this country. And everybody else does not agree with you. So thank you very much for joining me. Let me know what you think. I did a long video here. This went up way longer than I planned on it being. But that's most of my videos. But thank you very much for joining me. And until next time. And I'm going to keep doing this anyways. But until next time, peace, clear talk. I'm out.